I want to dive in on culture because it's something that we don't always get to talk about.
Right.
When you have 100 employees, culture is a big thing, man.
Yeah.
People got to be bought into the mission and the vision. How do you keep that alive, and how do you train it, coach it, teach it? Do you use that as a guidebook to hire and fire people? What does that look like?
Yeah. So, in fact, that's a good point. If you want to talk about failures, we just ignored it for probably the first, 4 years of
Yeah.
post merger. And we found ourselves in just an awful situation. Just nobody wanted to come to work. And I don't know if there's a worse feeling as an entrepreneur than having a business that your employees don't want to come to work at. So, Danielle and I and the rest of our leadership said, okay, this is going to be really painful, but we better start being very intentional in addressing this on a daily, hourly basis. We started with a blind survey. You want to have your your guts pulled out.
Done those before.
So, but we garnered so much from it, and then we spent a year implementing all these things. So people said that they wanted to hear the plan for the business more directly from us. Great, let's put these systems in place where we can regularly communicate. Whatever the feedback was, if it was reasonable and we saw positive growth from it, we implemented it. So we got to this really leading into COVID. We got to this really positive place from a cultural perspective, but it also took probably half of my time and about a third of my wife's time. And that was not positive for the organization in any way, shape, or form. Not that it's not important. It is very important, but we have other responsibilities. Right. So we started looking at how do we create some systems and make this not a thing that we have to lead, the thing that is just a part of the people.
We are.
Yep. So we talk super actively about our culture, about how we want to be empathetic. We want to consider the business, but frankly, we're considering the people within our team more frequently than we're considering the business. And that's easy to say in the positive decision points, much more difficult to implement in the difficult decision points. But
yeah,
I've taken that on as that's my responsibility. When we're talking about somebody who maybe needs to be terminated, I stop the meeting and say, okay, you as a group, talk to me about what's right for this person. We've already talked about what's right for the business. Tell me about what's right for the person on the other side of this. And now I don't have to say that. I don't have to stop the meetings anymore. We just talk about that over and over again.
Yeah, sometimes you got a great person who's just sitting in the wrong seat.
Right.
Right.
Like, hasn't been heard, maybe they need support outside of what's normal for an organization. Well, I don't have to do what's normal for an organization. Why don't I treat them like a real person? So we brought that all culminated at the beginning of this year. We brought on a cultural coordinator.
That's great. So somebody just wakes up and goes to sleep thinking about culture.
It's awesome. It has been, and she aligns. Had to be very, very clear with. We weren't looking for somebody to smack people over the head with a handbook like the normal HR person.
Yeah, or
does.
Just put fancy quotes on the wall.
Yeah, we want somebody to be empathetic to the people within our organization to help us unpack and create plans and help with those challenging situations. And it has been life-changing. It was an investment, don't get me wrong, but it has been life-changing for us.
Hey, if you guys enjoyed that clip, go ahead and click the link in the comments to watch the full show, or you can see a couple other clips from the show right here.